Let me give you two numbers. In 2024, the average cost of assisted living in the United States crossed $5,000 a month. The average Social Security check? $1,900. That gap, that $3,000 monthly shortfall, is quietly destroying the retirement plans of millions of Americans who did everything right. They saved. They worked for 35 years. They paid into the system. And now the system is telling them it isn't enough. But here's what the financial advisors on television are not telling you. In 7 countries right now, $2,000 a month does not just cover your bills. It funds a retirement that is, by every measurable metric, healthcare quality, safety index, purchasing power, and community, better than what most Americans are currently living. This is not a travel video. This is a financial audit. Let's get into the data. Before we go through the list, you need to understand why staying home is becoming the riskiest financial decision a retiree can make in 2026. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics confirmed that healthcare inflation for seniors is running at nearly double the general CPI. In plain terms, the cost of your prescriptions, your specialist visits, your Medicare supplemental premiums, they are rising twice as fast as your Social Security cost of living adjustment. At the same time, grocery bills for a household of 2 in major U.S. metros now average $850 to $1,100 per month. Property taxes in states like Illinois, New Jersey, and Texas are increasing at rates that are making fixed-income retirement functionally impossible for homeowners. This is not a temporary situation. This is a structural collapse of the domestic retirement model for the middle class. The people on this list, the 7 countries we are about to audit, are not exotic escape fantasies. They are the practical, data-backed alternative that 750,000 Americans have already chosen, and the number is growing by 40,000 per year. Here is what they found. Country number 1, Portugal. Let's start in Europe, because Portugal is the single most important development in retirement geography in the last decade. The country sits at the western edge of the continent, which means Atlantic coastline, 300 days of sunshine per year, and access to the entire European medical system. In Lisbon, a modern 2-bedroom apartment in a neighborhood like Príncipe Real or Estrela runs between $1,100 and $1,400 per month. But if you move 40 minutes south to Setúbal or north to Porto, you are looking at $700 to $950 for equivalent quality. Healthcare, Portugal's National Health Service, the SNS, is ranked in the top 20 globally by the WHO private health insurance for a couple over 60 runs between $180 and $350 per month, providing access to private hospitals with 0 wait time and English-speaking staff. Total monthly budget for a couple, $1,800 to $2,200. What you get: a European capital-quality lifestyle, walkable neighborhoods, world-class cuisine, and a large, established English-speaking expat community. The Portuguese government's NHR tax regime, the non-habitual resident program, historically offered 10-year flat tax structures for foreign pension income. While this has evolved, Portugal remains among the most fiscally competitive EU destinations for foreign retirees. We will do a full standalone Portugal audit in a future video. Country number 2, Malaysia, Penang. Georgetown, on the island of Penang, is what happens when British colonial infrastructure meets Southeast Asian affordability. The healthcare situation here is exceptional and often overlooked. Penang is a medical tourism hub. Hospitals like Gleneagles Penang and Penang Adventist Hospital are internationally accredited, English-speaking, and charge between 20% and 40% of equivalent U.S. procedure costs. A cardiology consultation that runs $450 in the U.S. costs $35 here. A modern two-bedroom apartment in Georgetown, $400 to $700 per month. International private health insurance for a 65-year-old, approximately $200 to $280 monthly. Total monthly budget for a comfortable couple, $1,400 to $1,900. The Malaysia, My Second Home program, MM2H, provides a renewable long-stay visa for retirees with verifiable income or savings. English is widely spoken, the food scene is extraordinary, and the infrastructure, roads, hospitals, shopping, internet, operates at a standard well above regional peers. One important flag: Malaysia's political landscape and MM2H program requirements have shifted over the past few years. Always verify current requirements before making residency decisions. We track these changes monthly. Country number 3, Costa Rica. For North American retirees, Costa Rica has one of the single most significant advantages on this entire list: a 4-hour flight from Miami, a direct cultural pipeline to the United States, and a government that has actively courted foreign retirees for 40 years. The Pensionado Visa program is among the most accessible in the world. Prove a pension income of $1,000 per month from Social Security, a pension, or a 401k drawdown, and you qualify for legal residency with significant discounts on healthcare, utilities, and transportation. The Central Valley, areas around San Jose, Escazú, and Santa Ana, offers a consistent 22 degrees Celsius climate year-round. No heating, no air conditioning, your utility bills virtually disappear. A 2-bedroom in Escazú, $700 to $1,100. Healthcare. Costa Rica has a 2-tier system. The public Caja Seguro Social, the CCSS, allows legal residents to enroll for a fee of approximately 7 to 11% of declared income. For private care, Hospital Cima and Clínica Bíblica are U.S. accredited, English-speaking facilities where a GP visit costs $50 and surgery runs a fraction of U.S. pricing. Total monthly budget for a couple, $1,600 to $2,200. Country number 4, Spain, Valencia. Valencia is one of the most systematically undervalued retirement destinations in Europe. Barcelona gets the attention. Madrid gets the business traffic. But Valencia, the third largest city in Spain, offers the same Mediterranean climate, the same Spanish healthcare infrastructure, the same cultural richness at 30 to 40% lower cost. A 2-bedroom apartment in the Eixample or Ruzafa neighborhood, $900 to $1,300. Spain's public healthcare system, the Sistema Nacional de Salud, is ranked number 7 globally by the WHO, ahead of Canada, ahead of Australia, ahead of the United States. Legal residents gain access to this system. A couple's monthly health insurance while establishing residency, $300 to $450 for comprehensive private coverage. The non-lucrative visa allows retirees with verifiable passive income, pensions, Social Security, investment income, to live legally in Spain without working. Proof of approximately $2,600 per month for a couple is the current general threshold, though this evolves. Total monthly budget for a couple living well, $2,100 to $2,600. This is the top of our $2,000 benchmark, but the quality of life arbitrage against an equivalent U.S. lifestyle is significant. Country number 5, Thailand, Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is the most battle-tested expat retirement city on this list. The infrastructure for foreign retirees here is mature, established, and efficient. The Thailand retirement visa, the non-immigrant OA, requires proof of $25,000 in a Thai bank account or a monthly income of approximately $2,000. Once obtained, it is renewable annually. The city sits in northern Thailand at 300 meters elevation, which produces a climate noticeably cooler than Bangkok or the southern beaches. A fully furnished one-bedroom apartment in neighborhoods like Niman or Santitham, $250 to $500 per month. Healthcare, Chiang Mai Ram Hospital and Bangkok Hospital. Chiang Mai are internationally accredited with English-speaking departments, cardiology units, orthopedics, and oncology services. A private GP consultation, $20. A full blood panel, $35. Monthly health insurance for a 65-year-old, $80 to $150 through international providers. Total monthly budget for a single retiree living comfortably, $900 to $1,300. For a couple, $1,400 to $1,900. The purchasing power available at $2,000 in Chiang Mai is, by any objective metric, extraordinary. Country number 6, Panama. Panama is the only country on this list that uses the US dollar as its official currency. For retirees concerned about currency risk and exchange rate volatility, and you should be, this is a structurally unique advantage. Your Social Security check arrives and spends as dollars, no conversion fees, no currency fluctuation risk. Panama City's Punta Pacifica and El Cangrejo neighborhoods offer modern high-rises with ocean views, 24-hour security, and proximity to internationally accredited hospitals. Johns Hopkins Medicine International partners with Hospital Punta Pacifica at rents of $900 to $1,400 for a two-bedroom. The Pensionado program here is widely regarded as the single most comprehensive retirement incentive package in the world. 20% off medical consultations, 15% off hospital bills, 25% off airline tickets, 50% off hotel stays, and tax-free import of household goods. Legal residency can be obtained with proof of $1,000 per month in pension income. Total monthly budget for a couple, $1,700 to $2,200. Country number 7, Colombia, Medellín. Medellín requires confronting a significant perceptual obstacle. For decades, the city's name was synonymous with danger. That history is real, and it should not be dismissed. But here is what the data shows in 2025. Medellín's homicide rate has fallen by over 95% since its peak in the early 1990s. The city now ranks statistically safer than several major U.S. cities, including Baltimore, Memphis, and Detroit, according to the Numbeo Safety Index. The reason an increasing number of informed retirees are looking at Medellín seriously is the combination of factors that is genuinely rare. A spring-like climate year-round at 1,500 meters elevation, a modern metro system, one of the best in Latin America, a world-class private healthcare sector, and a cost structure that delivers extraordinary value. A two-bedroom apartment in El Poblado or Laureles, $600 to $1,000. Monthly health insurance for a couple, $150 to $250 through international providers. Colombia's Pensionado visa requires proof of approximately $750 per month in pension income. Total monthly budget for a couple living well, $1,400 to $2,000. Now, before you start researching flights, there are 3 structural warnings that apply to every single country on this list, and that most retirement relocation content never discusses properly. First, tax residency. Moving to another country does not automatically remove your U.S. tax obligations. The United States taxes its citizens on worldwide income, regardless of where they live. How you structure your Social Security, pension, and 401k withdrawals before you leave, and which tax treaty framework applies to your destination country, can mean the difference between a tax-efficient retirement and one that quietly costs you 20 to 30% more than you calculated. We will cover this in precise detail in our upcoming video on tax treaties and dual residency structures. Second, Healthcare continuity. Medicare does not cover you outside the United States in most circumstances. Medicare Part A and Part B are effectively suspended the moment you establish foreign residency. This means international health insurance is not optional. It is your primary medical safety net. The good news, at every destination on this list, comprehensive international coverage for a couple in their 60s costs between $300 and $600 per month, a fraction of U.S. Medicare Advantage supplemental costs. Third, the visa trap. Every country on this list has specific financial and documentation requirements for legal residency. Overstaying a tourist visa is not a legitimate long-term strategy, and immigration authorities in all of these countries are increasingly strict with repeat tourist entries. Legal residency is the only safe structure for a permanent retirement abroad. Let's look at the soft metrics, the factors that determine whether you will actually be happy after the spreadsheet math checks out. The English language medical ecosystem is a non-negotiable for most retirees. Here is the reality across these 7 countries. Portugal, Malaysia, and Panama have the deepest English-speaking medical infrastructure. In these 3, finding an English-fluent specialist, cardiologist, orthopedic surgeon, neurologist, is standard, not exceptional. Spain and Costa Rica have strong English availability in private medical settings in major cities, with some gap in rural or smaller town contexts. Thailand and Colombia have robust English-speaking medical infrastructure in the specific hospitals favored by the expat community: Chiang Mai Ram, Hospital Punta Pacifica, Clínica Las Americas in Medellín, but limited English outside those ecosystems. Community infrastructure matters as much as medical infrastructure. The social isolation risk for retirees abroad is real, and it is the most underreported failure mode in retirement relocation. The countries on this list with the deepest, most organized expat community ecosystems are Chiang Mai, decades of Facebook groups, meetups, activity clubs, and a self-organizing expat civil society. The Algarve and Porto in Portugal, where the British and Northern European expat community is established and active, and Panama City's pensions community, which has built structured social infrastructure specifically for North American retirees. Here is the comparative ledger. Let's use a real benchmark: a retired American couple, both 67, with combined monthly income of $3,200, approximately $2,100 from Social Security, and $1,100 from a small pension. In the United States, in a mid-cost metro like Columbus, Ohio, or Raleigh, North Carolina, that income covers housing, healthcare, food, and transport, but leaves a monthly surplus of roughly $0 to $200. There is no financial breathing room, no capacity to absorb a medical emergency, a home repair, or a family trip. Now apply that same $3,200 to Chiang Mai. Housing, $400, healthcare insurance, $120. Food, eating out daily at quality restaurants, $350. Transport, utilities, internet, $200. Entertainment, wellness, social activities, $200. Miscellaneous, $150. Total, $1,420. Monthly surplus, $1,780. That surplus, invested conservatively at 4% annually, compounds to over $250,000 over a 10-year retirement, a financial reserve that does not exist on the U.S. domestic budget. In Medellín, the numbers are comparable. In Costa Rica, the calculation shifts slightly toward $1,600 to $1,800 monthly surplus for the same couple. In Portugal or Valencia, the surplus narrows, $800 to $1,200 per month. But the quality of life infrastructure, European medical access, and cultural richness introduce a different category of value. The core point is this: Retirement is no longer a domestic question, it is a global optimization problem. And for the first time in history, the tools, the legal frameworks, the medical infrastructure, and the expat community ecosystems exist in enough countries to make this a realistic, safe, and logistically manageable decision for the average middle-class retiree. If you are currently in the research phase, comparing countries, running your own budget models, trying to figure out which destination actually fits your specific situation, the most important next step is not booking a flight. It is building a structured decision framework before you spend a single dollar. We have put together a comprehensive overseas retirement audit checklist that walks you through every variable: healthcare coverage transition, tax residency structuring, visa pathway selection, and the 12-month financial model for each of the top destinations. You can access it free at the link in the description below. If this breakdown was useful, subscribe to Retire Nest. Every video we produce is an independent, data-driven audit. No real estate kickbacks, no affiliate-driven country rankings, just the numbers, the risks, and the real options available to you. The next video in this series covers the 5 countries with the easiest legal residency pathways for seniors, the ones where you can be legally established in under 90 days. That video drops next week.